Okay, haven't done one of these in a while. Hello, everyone out there, if anybody is out there, because it's very early in the day, at least in New York. Um, this is Street Sweep Chat, and for those of you who have absolutely no idea what that means, I don't either. I'm just kidding. Um, basically, I don't know how it works in other places in the world, but in the morning, near my place, the street sweeper comes by, and because I'm too poor to keep my car in a garage, I uh, leave my car out on the street. So basically, we all sit in our cars, wait for the street sweeper to come. We pull over to the side so the street sweeper can move through, and then we pull back in. Some of us don't do that, and we just don't leave our cars. Not me. Um, and it becomes very annoying when that happens because the one person who didn't move their car um, is then the street sweeper can't get around them, and everybody's pulled over. And anyway, it's a whole thing. I just saw the one guy go by. There's a guy from the sanitation department who actually tickets people who don't move their cars. So for anybody who ever moves your car in New York City, remember that. Anyway, you all don't care about this. I haven't done like a little update video in a while. I've been extremely busy, but figured I would bring up a couple of things. I saw a comment, somebody mentioned History of Rock 2010s, which we're still working on. At least we're trying to, we're still kind of writing the script. We're trying to kind of piece it together. We were hoping Emily could join us, who hasn't joined us since, she kind of joined us in the 2000s episode, but she's very busy at the moment, so that's what's going on with that. But I think at least me and Nick and Ashley are working on a script, and we're going to try to put it together. What else is going on? Obviously, a lot of you have been seeing that I've been pushing Elements on vinyl. A lot of you have bought copies, and really thank you so much to everybody here who bought a copy of Elements on vinyl. I don't think I need to let you know that although I really do enjoy doing YouTube videos and talking about the history of rock and roll and stuff, my own music is my passion. And so for those of you who, got really into it and sent pictures and videos of all of you enjoying the records and stuff, I really, really do appreciate it. I don't know what this guy's doing behind me, but it is still available on Bandcamp. I'll probably, maybe I'll put a link at some point. So if you go to Bandcamp, you can buy a copy, assuming you live in the U.S. I attempted, who says I'm going to snag a copy when I get back to the States? Oh, very good. Excellent. And if any of you are local in New York City, I'm actually doing a record release show in August. I know it's a little bit late, but that's when it was available. Konstantin says, I am from Bulgaria. Yeah, so unfortunately, international shipping costs are insanely expensive, like ridiculous. So unfortunately on Bandcamp, they can ship it internationally, but the shipping costs are really, really a lot. If you do want to pay the shipping costs, awesome, but I totally understand if it's too much money. I would feel the same way. But for those of you who are local in the States, it's like what is it about? I think it's about $8 for shipping to ship the record and make sure it's nice and packaged and everything. So there's that. And if you haven't bought it yet, let me know. Joshua says, Australia in the house. Thoughts on modern prog? Well, Elements technically is modern prog. I know it's not like super popular or anything. But the truth of the matter is, I haven't listened to a lot of modern prog. I don't know if King Gizzard counts, because I was listening to them for the 2010s. But speaking of prog rock, huge thank you to everybody who watched the Tarkus video from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And I've got a couple others coming up. The next video is Close to the Edge by Yes, which I'm looking forward to making. It's a classic prog rock album. Many would even say the best. And some of you might have seen that I posted a poll asking what else should I cover. And a lot of people want me to talk about King Crimson. I've been getting so many comments about King Crimson pretty much since History of Rock started. I famously did not include Court of the Crimson King. Hello, JT. I'm from Malaysia. Excellent. I've been to Malaysia. It's a very cool place. Let It Be, we toured there, and the crowds were all really awesome. So hello. Where was I? Yeah, a lot of people wanted me to talk about King Crimson. Back in the 60s video, I famously did not include Court of the Crimson King. It was going to be in the video, and for whatever reason, potential dumb question, will any Rush albums be reviewed? I'm from Canada. I will avoid making any jokes. Immediately, the first thing I think about in Canada is South Park. I'm very sorry. Just please forgive me. Buddy. I actually do have Hemispheres on my wish list. Do you think classical music influenced rock music? Sorry, I'm kind of reading these, I should probably, let me finish all the thoughts and then I'll start looking back through the comments. Rush's Hemispheres is actually on my wish list. I have a Amazon wish list and of prog albums that I'd like to review for Summer of Prague, and a couple of you have already contributed to that. Thank you so much. For example, I just got into Court of the Crimson King on vinyl, and huge thank you to my patron Joe who sent me that. And it's the classic album cover, and listening to it on vinyl was definitely an experience. What do I think of the album? You will find out. But yeah, now I have no choice. I got to review it. I believe also a very good patron also bought Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull, which I'm looking forward to checking out. Give me a second. In case you don't know, I'm waiting for the street sweeper to come, and then I have to pull my car out so the street sweeper can come through, because I'm being a good New Yorker. I'm actually not. But when the street sweeper comes, I will have to finish this live stream. But anyway, so Hemispheres Rush is on my wish list. If anybody wants to buy it for me, I will gladly review it. I do like that album. I think I tried to put 2112 on there, but for whatever reason, it's not available on vinyl on Amazon. I'm sure I could find a copy of it on eBay or something like that, but I'm lazy. So so that's what's going on with Rush. And King Crimson, they'll probably, In the Court of the Crimson King will come after Yes's Close to the Edge review. So let me look through a couple of comments here. Let's see, I got a bunch of them here. Potential dumb question. Well, oh, I read that one already. Love to get more into Yes. Any recommendations for King Gizzard? not heard anything from them yet. I'm still kind of new when it comes to King Gizzard, so I wouldn't be the best person to ask like for their albums. Do you think classical music influences rock music? Well, if you had seen my review on Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus, you will know that it's very much influenced by classical music. I mean, you know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, especially Keith Emerson, very, very heavily influenced by classical music. Knife's Edge is, oh God, is it a Janacek song? I think it is. They also made Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition. They've done so many classical renditions of things, and a lot of their music is very classical. Rick Wakeman and Yes, I think they did a lot of he did a lot of classical stuff. I think they even did the Firebird Suite by Stravinsky at some point. But yeah, classical definitely influences rock and roll. The Beatles, of course. Emerson, Lake and Palmer are geniuses. Very good point. The Beatles, of course, George Martin's influence definitely gave them a classical influence. Yeah, so many, you know, I think even the Rolling Stones, Brian Jones he could play so many different instruments, so he brought that orchestral idea to a lot of Stones songs. And let me look at what else we've got. I'm doing this on my phone, by the way, because that's how it goes. What else? Okay. Hey, Adam, how are you? Joshua. Who King Gizzard start with Nagon Infinity? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I'm seeing David Gilmour at Madison Square Garden in November. I will be there. I'm seeing him on that Wednesday, Sean the Kid. So I don't know where you'll be sitting. I'll be sitting a little high up because, as I frequently joke, I am poor. So, okay, I shouldn't say I'm poor. I'm not poor. I mean, I live in Manhattan. I can't be poor and live in Manhattan. But let's just say, I don't have, Elon Musk money or anything like that. What else? Because you have to have Elon Musk money in order to get good tickets at Madison Square Garden. I think the Monster 789. I saw Nick Mason last week. It was so cool. That is awesome. I have seen Nick Mason in concert. I have a picture with him. He is very nice. Guy Pratt and Lee Harris, all of them, they're all totally awesome. And yeah, it's an amazing show. If you can go see Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets, I highly recommend it. Elon Musk doesn't have Elon Musk money. That's a good point. He spent it all buying Twitter, which nobody likes anymore. What do you think about the song Between 2 Points from David Gilmour's upcoming album? Is that the one is it his daughter sang? Because there was the first one I kind of dug. The one that, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Whoever his daughter or his family member sang. I didn't get into that one as much because it's a little too modern for my taste. It's kind of got that Billie Eilish sort of vibe to it. I'm not a big fan of the Billie Eilish vibe. I respect it, but it's not my thing. I'm still a rocker at heart. What can I say? What else do we got here? Him and his band were playing all the old Floyd stuff. Yes, so Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets, they famously play all Pink Floyd songs before Dark Side of the Moon. So they play a lot of Syd Barrett tunes, songs from when I saw them. They played all of Metal. I'm going to turn the air on a little bit because we have a bit of a heat wave here in New York. They played Echoes. One of These Days, some stuff from Obscured by Clouds, which, if you follow me, you know that I am a big fan of Obscured by Clouds. I famously ranked it higher than The Wall, and everybody let me know what a terrible person I am for that, so, but, oh well. Let's see, where are we? Oh, I recently bought an original vinyl copy of All Things Must Pass, Constantine. Oh yeah, I have All Things Must Pass on vinyl. It is, I have obviously reviewed it. It is still one of the, I would actually say it is the best post-Beatles album. It's interesting, I just watched, Lindsay Ellis has a video about John Lennon, specifically Yoko Ono, where she says why it wasn't Yoko's fault, and, you know, it's all based on sexism and stuff like that, which, you know, might have a good point there. I generally go by what George said. George Harrison said, did Yoko Ono break up the Beatles? I mean, if you want my actual honest opinion, what broke up the Beatles, it's a lot of things. I would probably cite Alan Klein as being one of the reasons the Beatles broke up, probably even more so than Yoko. I think that was the final nail in the coffin, but there was a lot of things going on. Technically, John broke up the Beatles, although George left the Beatles while they were making Get Back. But as far as did Yoko contribute to the death of the Beatles, George Harrison said in the anthology, and I'm talking about the book, the anthology, it's not in the actual documentary if you go looking for it, but in the book, basically what he said was, you know, the Beatles were going to break up anyway, but I think Yoko sped up the process. And yeah, he's pretty much right about that. I mean, that seems spot on. Because here's the thing, you know, look, it is definitely, you know, John probably should have known, like, hey, you seen the Lizzie? Yeah, I was just talking about the Lindsay Ellis video. But here's the thing, I've been in studios many, many, many times, and I really gotta say, if I was in a studio and somebody who's basically a guest goes up into a microphone and goes, John, 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 like for 10 minutes, I'd probably want to leave the band too. And I mean, that's not in Get Back. There's like a tiny, tiny bit of it in Get Back, but there's a bootleg, there's a outtake on the internet. You can find this. She goes on with this for like 10 minutes, and John doesn't do anything. Like, Lindsay Michael Hogg is trying to say to ask John, like, George has just left the band, and, you know, John being a bit of a dick, he's just kind of like, oh, well, you know, if he leaves, he leaves. You know, we'll just get Clapton in. And she's just yelling John over and over and over again where they're trying to have this interview, and he's just like, yes, dear. It's really weird. And yeah, I mean, sexism and everything aside, if I was in a studio and that kind of shit was going on, I'd probably want to leave too. So long story short, did Yoko Ono break up the Beatles? Probably not. They probably would have broken up anyway, as George said. But she didn't help. So that's the best answer you're going to get. Sorry, Lindsay. I love you, Lindsay. If you can watch Lindsay's video, I think Lindsay's a great editor. She's a great narrator. She makes some very good points. But some things I didn't agree with her on. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I'm kind of going back here so I can get all these comments. Yeah, here we go. All Things Must Pass on vinyl. That's how I got off on that tangent. Prog stole classical. Well, you know, a lot of people steal from things. My name is Con Calendar. I'm watching I don't know. Why ain't your video for the Rock 2000s? Do you hate emo so much? I love emo. Do you know any underground artists from the 90s or the mid-2000s? Why ain't your video for the rock 2000s do you hate emo so much? Why do I hate emo so much? Because it's emo. Why would you not hate emo? Anyway, well, you know what? I don't hate emo. It was whatever. I don't really care. Do I know any underground artists from the 90s or the mid-2000s? Well, there's a lot of those, the Riot Girl acts and a few things. I guess technically I was an underground artist in the 2000s. Honestly, any seat-to-seat David Gilmour live is worth it. Very nice. If Luck and Strange are released, will you film a video about review that album? Yeah, I think I'm planning that. But we'll see. I've really gotten into Genesis last year. This is Sean the Kid. Hot take, Calling All Stations isn't a bad album. Should have been billed as a Rutherford Banks album, not a Genesis album. I haven't heard that album, or maybe I've heard parts of it. But I have to check it out. If I was to, so I actually do have The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway on vinyl. It's not a great copy. I think, honestly, the one that I would really like to take a look at is, I mean, I kind of go back and forth between Lamb and Selling England by the Pound, but Selling England by the Pound is the one that kind of speaks to me a bit more. I think they both have their ups and downs. Obviously, The Lamb is a double album, so a lot going on that album. But let's see. I feel like as a South Park fan, I should hate Phil Collins. But James Gallo says, your History of Rock 70s video introduced me to Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. Now I'm a massive Bruce fan, even buying the album on vinyl. Thank you so much. Big fan of your videos. Thank you, James. Funny enough, I think both my dad and my mom at one point or another had Born to Run. Stop shaking. On vinyl. So that's how I first heard it. I heard Born to Run on vinyl. I still remember the first time I listened to Jungle Land. That one really was like, wow, this is quite a song. And at that time, I didn't know about a lot of long songs. So when I found out it was, 8 minutes long, I'm like, wow, 8-minute song? Then eventually I got Live at Fillmore East, and one of the songs is 23 minutes long. So there you go. But Born to Run, one of my all-time favorite albums. I'm from New Jersey. So, yeah, it's pretty much a rule. If you're from New Jersey, you have to love Bruce Springsteen, or they revoke your New Jersey card, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I live in New York, so a lot of jokes about New Jersey, which is fine. I don't really care. Let's see. Colin Callender talking about Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay Ellis' first video in 4 years. Tears right about Amber Heard, though she was railroaded my sister. That don't. Yeah, that was the one issue I kind of had with Lindsay's video. And I respect where she's coming from. I definitely think misogyny is something that does need to be talked about. It does exist. And the way media, even with Yoko to a certain extent, the way we judge certain people, especially women, is a real thing. But at the same time, when I'm watching that video, I'm kind of like, this is a video about the Beatles, and she goes on for a really long time about Amber Heard and Britney Spears and Courtney Love, and at a certain point, I'm just kind of like, well, I would say stick to the subject, but, in my video series, we have long jokes about anime, so I guess I'm not really one to talk, but I get where she's coming from. Amber Heard, I didn't follow the Amber Heard Johnny Depp story that much, so I can't even comment on it because I didn't watch it. I didn't care. So, it had nothing to do with the Beatles or Pink Floyd, so it's a very stupid thing for me to say, but whatever. Do you like jazz, Constantine? Yes, I do like jazz. Quite a lot, actually. I was actually just listening to. It's funny. I was just thinking about getting. I have Miles Davis's Kind of Blue on vinyl, and I used to have the. I think I still have the. Oh, I have it right here. Look at that. I have this CD. I have a couple CDs in my car, and I have Miles Davis's Stella by Starlight '58 album, which includes their version of Green Dolphin Street and Stella by Starlight, My Funny Valentine. And I love their version of Green Dolphin Street with Bill Evans playing that incredible piano in the beginning. And you got Cannonball Adderley and John Coltrane. I would love to have that on vinyl, so I'm probably going to. And I believe it was released on vinyl at some point. I think it's like Miles 58 or something like that, so that's definitely something. It's also fun because I'm working on a TikTok profile called May in Manhattan, kind of based off of a character from Atomic Rod Reunion. And the gag is that she's always narrating to jazz music, so I will generally just find a lot of jazz music to put in there, including Miles Davis and Thelonious Monk and Art Tatum and Chick Corea, a whole bunch of people. So, yep, I am a jazz fan. I think I said basically the Allman Brothers Live at Fillmore East might as well be jazz when you really think about it. And obviously Emerson, Lake and Palmer drew a lot on Dave Brubeck and stuff like that. I mean, Close to the Edge is very jazzy. A lot going on. So that's there's a bug. I think this guy's trying to get in. So maybe I'll move forward. I don't know if he's I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, I'm probably gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon. But let me take a look at oh, somebody's getting in. Let me take a look at a few other questions. Can you prefer any blues that came out in the 2000s that I should like? I like the blues, but anybody came out in the 2000s? That's my last question. Well, funny enough, an album I listened to all the time was an album that came out in 2000 called Riding with the King with Eric Clapton and B.B. King. It's a great album. Definitely highly recommend it. I also really enjoyed Robert Randolph. I haven't heard from him in a long time, but I had his album. I loved his album. It was a great album. He tended to do a lot more like kind of R&B stuff rather than like straight up blues, but pedal steel player, great player. Also love. Oh my God! Why is his name escaping me? But anyway, there are some good blues players in the 2000s to check out. Let's see, what else? The first half of The Lamb is way better than the second half. I would agree with that. But there are parts of the second half that I think are very good as well. Any thoughts on Hawkwind? I am not as familiar with Hawkwind as I should be, but I think that will change soon. Is History of Rock and Roll 2010s in development? So, okay, here's what's going. I'll do this, and then I'm going to have to sign off. So the 2010s, we're working on a script. We're close to a first draft. We've had to make some changes because originally Emily was going to be in it, but her schedule's just too busy at the moment. So we had to kind of change some things around. We are planning on doing History of Rock 2010s. We've got to kind of find a time to nail it down because just our schedules are so crazy. And I am going to probably, maybe even when I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to record a video for GoFundMe so that we can, get some funds to record this. Because unfortunately, the History of Rock videos take a really long time to make. And they cost more money, and Nick's got to come from Connecticut and everything. So, we just have to get all that done. So, but yes, 2010s, we are working on it. We are going to get it out at some point. I'm hoping, I am hoping that we can get it done for the exact 10th anniversary of History of Rock and Roll, which is, I think it's December 2014. I have to check that. And so, yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I'm gonna try. I'm trying right now to every week I put out a video, whether it's a Q&A, whether it's an actual video, whether it's, I mean, people have even said, why don't you start a podcast? I'm thinking about it, but yeah, that's pretty much that. But thank you, everybody. You know what? I will read one more comment, just one more. EART says, "Oh, tiptoe through the tulips." All right, this video is over. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you all next time. And